Good morning, everybody. Okay, I'm coming to y'all again today because I am going to do a review of the show that came on last night, The People versus OJ Simpson, and kind of go over some things that I thought about while watching it. So, anyway, let me get started. First of all, and y'all might be mad at me for saying this, and some of you may agree, but I don't think that Cuba Gooding Jr. was the best choice to play OJ Simpson. I don't know why they chose him. And I'm not saying that he's a bad actor. I mean, he's a good actor, but I don't think he was the best choice for that role. Because if you think about it, like, OJ Simpson was like, I guess you could say an American sweetheart. You know, he was the juice. He was dashing. He was handsome. You know, he was a star, football player. And to me, Cuba just didn't bring that to light on the screen. Like, he didn't really portray that as well as I think another actor probably would. I mean, sorry, Cuba, but that's just what I think. And I mean, overall, I like Sarah Paulson's performance. I think she is bringing across Marsha Cross' character really well. You know, you see the passion and the emotion and everything that the character, has for the case, and how she kind of feels for Nicole Brown Simpson. And, like, oh, he abused her and now he's killed her. And, like, I'm going to make sure he don't get away with this. But, I'm not sure what type of person Johnny Cochran was or what his character was like other than what I saw on TV and what I remember of the trial. But to me, they kind of making him look like he's a villain and he's just out for the money, and maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but it's kind of, putting him in like a kind of negative light to me. They need to give him, I guess, a little bit more, character and integrity. Now, another thing I noticed that me and my sister talked about this morning. You see how they want to make sure that we know that was Kim Kardashian's room, and they want to make sure that we knew who Kris Jenner was, at the funeral. She's like, Chloe, y'all sit down or whatever. I'm like, really? No, it's like they made sure that, they want us to know that they were there as well. One of the scenes to me that was kind of haunting, I guess, was the scene where you see her body on the ground outside, and then the police go in, the officer goes in the house, and he has the gun and the flashlight. And I don't know if you caught it, but like when he opened the door to the little girl's room, she was still, sleeping in the bed, and then they went and he opened the little boy's door, and like the kids were still sleeping in the bed, like oblivious to what happened to their mama. I mean, could you imagine your mama being like, you sleep in your bed, you don't know what's going on. You think it's just another normal night of going to sleep. And unbeknown to you, your mother is like butchered. And then the police come and just whisk you away to someplace you don't even know where you are. And you wondering what happened. And, you don't realize that your mom's gone forever. That's kind of, man, I wonder, well, I don't want to know, but, I just wonder, how do you process that? And I hope the show redeem themselves, but it kind of sucks because, in my opinion, the people who suffered the most out of the whole situation that happened were the children. And in my opinion, it's kind of messed up that the Kardashian children got more camera time than the Simpson children. I mean, the only thing they gave them was like a little shot sleeping in the bed, and then you saw him come in his house and he hug him and tell him he gonna take care of him. And then like the little, when the daughter called and left a message on the answering machine for her mother, and then maybe you saw him at the funeral. But it seemed like, they wanted to put more spotlight on the Kardashian children than the Simpson children, to me. And I think that, if somebody ever told the story and kind of added their perspective, and kind of put in the story a little, what they went through. Like what was going through their mind and how they had to process that emotionally. I think that it would make for a better story because really that's the only story that hasn't been told. I mean, this whole show is about from the case and the lawyer's perspective, but I've never seen it anyway told from the children's perspective. I mean, maybe there's a documentary out there. I don't know. But anyway, that was just a thought that I had. But, I mean, if the show stayed true to the case and, like, what actually happened in real life, man, OJ guilty as hell. Because, number one, people were talking about how he used to beat on her and abuse her and how she was terrified of him. So, he already had that against him. And then, they found the glove and the guy, I guess the guy who, his assistant or whatever, who was living in the house in the back was talking about somebody was making noise, that night. And then they found the other bloody glove. And then you saw the blood on his truck. You saw it on the, on the door. And then you saw the little speck of blood on the inside. And it came out to be his. And, what else? The fact that he was late for the limo driver. And the limo driver was saying that the truck wasn't there at first. And then it was there when they left. And the fact that he, failed the polygraph test, I mean, it wasn't looking real good for you, OJ. I mean, it's a, ooh. But anyway, yeah, they had him looking real guilty. So, I mean, either he did it or that was a hell of a setup. And just the way he was acting, like I said, if the show stayed true to life, to the real life events. When I think about it, and I kept thinking about it while I was watching the show last night, my mind kept going back to that Will Smith movie, Concussion, and how, they was talking about how the football players get concussion, and once they hit their head, it released like these dangerous proteins that kind of suffocate their brain, and they start like going crazy and abusing their families and abusing themselves. And how they, in the public eye, they came out, they were normal, making speeches and doing appearances. But in their personal life, they were abusing their families and hurting themselves and stuff like that. And I kept wondering, what if OJ had CTE? Like, what if he had that condition, like before? Because the doctor discovered CTE years after the OJ trial. So, I was kind of wondering, like, what if he had CTE and nobody knew anything about it. Like we didn't even know what it was. What if that had an effect? I don't know if it did. I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody ever thought about it. But that's just what I kept thinking about last night. Now, I'm not trying to justify the crime in any shape, form, or fashion. But, what if that, was a factor? Like, what if that played a part in his behavior? But overall, I guess the show is okay. I mean, I have to keep watching it. It's just the lead part. I can't see Cuba Gooding Jr. as OJ Simpson. Like he's always the good, I guess, perky guy, whatever, and he'll play in a dark role. And then to me, I just can't look at him and see OJ Simpson. To me, that just throws the whole show off. But other than that, man, like the evidence is stacking up against him, and I want to, keep watching because it's going to be real interesting to see how the defense, how they, stack their case up and how they actually won when like all the evidence is pointing to OJ. But anyway, y'all just comment and rate and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think about my review, and if you have anything you want to add or anything you want to kind of dispute me about or whatever. I mean, it's all good because I'm open to anybody's opinion. But this is mine, and thank you guys for watching. I'm out. Y'all have a good one.